So my goal here today is to leave you with nuggets that can empower you and embolden you to live your happiest, most fulfilling life. My name is Rochelle Gapere. As I said earlier, I'm a happiness coach. And the journey that brought me here is just mind-blowing. So I ask you, are you happy? Are you happy? And listen, some of us may not be happy. We have to just keep it real. Some of us may not be happy. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you? How often are you asking your team members, are you happy? When you go to work, you walk in that building, you say good morning, hey, how you doing? And everybody says, I'm okay. And you just keep it moving. But do you really stop to listen and to really connect with people and really listen to the I'm okay and what's behind that? So I ask again, are you happy? And I want you to just take a moment and think about it for yourself. We're going to have a moment of vulnerability where everybody is just going to have a moment, have your own moment, and I want you to think about it. How happy are you? On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you? I love it. The 9.5. Yes. And I want you to close your eyes. I want everybody to close their eyes. I want everybody to close their eyes. And I want you to think of one of the happiest moments of your life. And I want you to hold on to that image. Yes, I love it. So anyway, you can open your eyes. You can open your eyes. And so that's the process that I went through in 2016, 3 years ago, when my life pretty much collapsed around me. All the plans I had they came to a halt. And it was the first time in my life I didn't really have a plan. I didn't have a plan. I was in a 5-year relationship with the person I thought I was going to get married to. I had plans to marry him, have children, have this incredible life together, and then bam, one argument ended it all. What I didn't realize at that time was that rejection was the redirection to my elevation, right? Yes. So I remember during that period, I would wake up every morning and I'd ask myself, Rochelle, are you happy? No. Put the covers back over my head. Rochelle, are you happy? No. Put the covers back over my head. I didn't want to face my life. I didn't. I'd always had it together. And to make matters worse, I was bored at work. I was unfulfilled. So I just got to a point where I was just so sad. First time ever, just sad. Rochelle, on a scale from 1 to 10, how happy are you? 5. Rochelle, on a scale from 1 to 10, how happy are you? 4. And one day I decided, happiness is my choice. I have the choice and the responsibility to do not only what makes me happy, but to bring the best energy to every situation around me, right? And so I remember thinking about that happy girl, and I said, I want to be her again. I was driving to work every day without music in my car. I love music. And so maybe after like 2-3 weeks of just driving in complete silence, I said I had to snap out of it. And I did. And so the tools I'm going to teach you today are some of the things that I used to take my life to the next level. So you're going to have to be brave. Your happiness requires your courage. It's not oh, I'm just happy and that's it. Or, oh, this is what life has given me and that's it. You have to believe that you have the power to change your life. And you do. Once you have pulse, you have possibility. Once you're alive, you have hope. At any moment, you can decide, today is the day that I am going to take my life to the next level. Today is the day I'm going to wipe out the unhappiness and start doing things that fulfill me. And it has to be a conscious decision. I remember walking into my boss's office and I said to her, I need 5 weeks unpaid leave. And she looked at me and she said, are you okay? And I said, no. She said, what's wrong? I said, I am stuck. Has anybody ever felt stuck? I was 35 years old, no man, no kids on the way, nothing, bored at work. It's like my life just popped down. And I just felt so stuck. And I went to her and I had a moment of vulnerability. So I said to employers, as I go around now talking to staff, that it is important that your employees are happy. Happy employees are 12% more productive than unhappy employees. Happy employees are 65% more energetic than unhappy employees. Happiness matters. So, to make a long story short, my boss said to me, do you want to move to DC or transfer to our office in California? I said, absolutely not. I am going to bring the same Rochelle everywhere. Unhappy, confused, whether in DC, wherever. I said I needed a break. And they took a bet on me. I ended up with 7 weeks paid time off. And I went back to that company with a renewed vigor because they took a bet on me and they cared about my well-being. I knew that I wanted to come and perform for them at the highest, next level, maximum winning. Yes. So let's talk about some common happiness stealers. Some of the things that steal our joy on a day-to-day basis, and you don't even realize it's happening. Social comparison. Watching what your neighbor doing. Watching what your friends doing. Social media. Instagram. Lord, Instagram. You are comparing your 24-hour day when you're with yourself to somebody's highlight reel. Those people are curating what they are posting. I don't want you to fall into the trap of thinking, oh, well, her life is better than mine, or his life is better than mine. No. Nobody is better at being you than you. You are a unique, unrepeatable miracle, and I want you to say that. I am a unique, unrepeatable miracle. And if you ever wish that you were someone else, you're telling the Creator that He made a mistake. And we know God makes no mistakes. Right? So I want you to focus on your life. What are the things that make you happy? Stop comparing yourself to people. And guess what? Celebrate people's wins. Don't badmind them. Don't badmind them. Because guess what? I'm here to tell you. If Amy can rise up and take her life to the next level, so can you. If I can stand on this stage in front of you 2 years from the time when my life was popped down, anything is possible for any of us. But you just have to believe that it is possible. Boredom and monotony. A lot of people, you're not bored, you're not unhappy, you're bored. You're living the same exact life every single day and calling it a life. Life is an adventure. Every Friday you go to the same KFC. You go to the same Island Grill for lunch. You go to the same grocery store to buy your groceries. Of course you're bored. You're not trying anything new. You have to challenge yourself to try new things. Think outside the box. I just heard 10 countries are represented in this room. You work for a fantastic company. One of the promises I saw is that this is a place for people to grow. You need to hold Mr. Zacko to that. Email him. Hey, Mr. Zacko, this is a place to grow. Sagicor is a company to grow. What are some of your tips for success? Success leaves clues. Leverage your resources. Go online. Take classes. Think outside the box. If there's something that you're interested in, you have so many departments within Sagicor. Try new things. If you're interested in HR, email somebody in HR. Could I shadow you for the day? Ask them questions. Look at the person next to you and learn new things about them. You never know who you may sit next to who can change your life. Learn to be kind to people. Say a kind word to the people that you see every day, beyond just how are you. Ask them about their children. Ask them about the weekend and care about their answers. care about their answers. I'll be happy when? I'll be happy when I get my visa. I'll be happy when I buy the car. I'll be happy when I meet the good up man. But you're conditioning your happiness on things outside of yourself. You don't know when you're going to get the visa. I hope you get it soon. But we just don't know when you're going to get it, right? So, what would you do if Sagicor deposited $86,400 in your bank account and said you had to use every single cent of it because it wouldn't roll over the next day? What would you do with that money? You see how everybody get excited? Let your mind run wild. What would you do? Think about it. $86,400 every day, and you have to use every single cent of it. What would you do? All right. Well, every single day you are blessed with life, you get 86,400 seconds to use. How are you using your time? How are you using your time? Are you using your time on things and spending your time on people who are elevating you to the next level? Are you spending your time gossiping? What are you doing with your time? Your time is your most valuable resource. Once this day goes by, you'll never get it again. You may lose money and you could earn it again, but this day, this is all you have. You have to be so intentional about how you're spending your time. When you wake up in the morning, instead of jumping on your phone and allowing the world to give you messages about how you should feel, you should wake up every morning vibrant, with purpose, intention. Who do I want to show up in the world as today? What 3 words could describe you for that day? Spend time on a morning routine. How you spend the first couple minutes of your day makes all the difference in the world. I don't care if you have to program it in your phone as your alarm. Today, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be bold. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to be fearless. Put the words in your phone. You need to cultivate an environment where you are able to thrive and to flourish. So from you wake up in the morning, you decide, I am going to use every single second of this 86,400 seconds that I've been blessed with. Many people didn't wake up this morning. You think they wouldn't wish they could have that 86,400 seconds to use? But you are over here weeping and moaning about yours? You're blessed. Exceptionally blessed. So, happiness hacks. I love to dance. Every single morning for the last 2 months, I wake up to Toast by Coffee. From I wake up, the energy just up. I don't even have time to start complaining about anything. I start my day how I want my days to go. I pre-plan my happiness. What does that look like? What makes you happy? How often are you asking yourself that question? What makes me happy? Because if you aren't clear about what makes you happy, then how will you get there? It's like walking into Cafe Blue and saying, oh, I want a coffee that tastes good. That's not specific. But if you walk into Cafe Blue and say, I want a hot, medium coffee with condensed milk, enough condensed milk, a sprinkle of cinnamon and some nutmeg, you'll get exactly what you want. So, in order for you to truly maximize your life, maximize your happiness, you need to have clarity about what happiness looks like to you. Start removing the things in your life that make you unhappy. You don't have to explain anything to anybody. It's your life. People's understanding is not necessary for you to thrive. Break out of the fear of what people think about you. What does Amy want to do today? How does she want to show up in the world? What will my happiest self look like? Most fulfilled. And when you walk out that door, you're ready to face the world head on. So even when you walk in, and if you have your miserable employee who just want to complain, morning, and you just step past her. Because you already made up your mind in the morning what you were about. You knew what your day was going to look like. You have to shape your life. Too many of us are living our lives on the default setting. You have to customize your life. When you get your iPhone, you don't just take it from Apple and just say, okay, here's the phone. No, you put wallpaper, ringtone, do that with your life every single day. And you have to take inventory. What worked for me 3 years ago to make me happy is not what makes me happy today. It's a process. And so you have to be conscious and intentional about choosing joy every single day. You don't wake up and have one big pile of happiness. You have to work at it. It's a muscle. You strengthen it, just like when you go to the gym. If you go consistently, there's a day when you get there where you could barely run 1 mile. But then you start going more often and you realize, rotted, 2 miles today. Because you practice and you are consistent. Social connection. Research shows that positive social connection is the greatest predictor to long-term happiness. And so right now, I want all of you to think about who are the 5 people who you talk to most often?
Did they call me?
Who are the 5 people who you have in your circle? You are the sum of the 5 people who are closest to you. Are these people building you up or are they tearing you down? When you have a moment of weakness, did they say to you, listen, Chris, you're a winner. Come, build back yourself. Or are they over there in the pity party with you too? Lord, yeah, Chris, life had it awfully terrible. No. Look in your phone. Look on your call log. The 5 people who you're talking to most often, how are they making you feel? Are they making you feel good, valuable, worthy, loved? And if not, you need to start swapping them out. And which is why I say you need to do new things. Because along the way, you'll start meeting new people who have the same interest as you. You're not a tree. You can move. At any time you can move. But you have to make the choice. So the people around you, I can't overstate how fortunate I am to have people believe in me. So many of you today have given me good energy. You see me, you go and mash it up. It made me feel great. And it's good when you speak life into people. You don't know what I woke up to this morning. I woke up fantastic, but you never know what people are going through. When you see people, say nice things to them. Give them a compliment. As a matter of fact, look on your neighbor now and tell them something nice about themselves. Tell them something nice.
Girl, you're so productive.
Your energy.
Yeah. Tell them something nice. Because let me tell you something. Let me say something. Let me say something. See, look on the energy. Yes, yes. People want to feel valued. People want to feel special. People want to hear a nice word every now and then. When some people, they have not heard anybody say to them, you look good in a long time. They depend, not a word of encouragement, not a word of niceness. So be kind, because you never know who may need the word. You don't know if you save somebody from jumping off a bridge one day. Because a lot of us are here pretending behind the facade that we have it together. Let me make it clear. Get over the idea that you have to have it together. Get over it. None of us are perfect. Not one of us in this room is a perfect person. We've all made mistakes, some we're not proud of, but you're here. And you needed that lesson to make you be the person you are who is sitting in front of me today. Yes. Celebrate your mistakes. I remember I would think, oh my God, I messed up my life. I didn't mess up my life. I did what I could do with the knowledge I had when I had it. I cannot punish 35-year-old Rochelle for the knowledge that 38-year-old Rochelle has today. So stop beating yourself up. Have people around you who speak life into you. And this is my favorite of them all, gratitude. Listen, gratitude is the foundation that I've built my life on. Every day this week I cry, tears of gratitude. I've been so overwhelmed, so happy to be here. And I will never, never ever take one moment that I get to speak into somebody's life for granted. Because I remember when I was confused. I was that girl 2 years ago who did not know what was next. But guess what? Life worked out for me. And I'm grateful. And I'll always have humility for the journey that brought me here. So every single morning, I don't care if you don't remember one thing I said today. Every single morning, as you open your eyes, 3 new things that you're grateful for. 3 new, different things that you're grateful for. And some people say to me, oh, but how am I going to find 3 new things for the rest of my life? What? You woke up this morning. Your heart is beating. Be grateful that you work for an incredible company. You woke up with a roof over your head. You're not homeless. You slept on comfortable pillows. Yeah. Tell the person next to you. Tell them 2 things you're grateful for. Tell them now. Get into the practice of cultivating it. Tell them. Tell the people next to you 2 things that you're grateful for right now. Yeah. The more grateful you are, the more grateful you will be, the more things you'll have to be grateful for. Gratitude is a free and simple way to happiness. And so, if I could leave you with anything, it is how important it is to truly show up in your life and decide moment by moment, 1, that you're blessed beyond measure, 2, that you're living in a time and age where we're more connected than ever. That's something to be grateful for. That you are alive. And because you're alive, at any moment, you can decide that I am going to change my life for the best. And so as we go through our days, and as we go through this day, I want you to take a moment, and I want you to start thinking about how you're going to show up in your life today, and then tomorrow, and then the day after that. And I want you to get a clear map of who you want to be, and how you want to feel, and what happiness looks like to you. And I want all of us to stand on our feet, because we're going to do an exercise together. We're going to do an exercise together. We're going to affirm some things. We're going to affirm some things. And I want you to record your voice saying these things in your phone. It is so powerful to hear your voice encourage yourself, right? So I'm going to say it, and then you're going to repeat after me. I am taking my health to the next level. I am taking my finances to the next level. I am taking my relationships to the next level. I am taking Sagicor to the next level. I'm taking my life to the next level. And I want you to give yourselves a round of applause. I want you to publicly celebrate yourself, because you made a public affirmation and commitment to yourself to keep winning, to keep becoming the best version of yourself. And I'm so excited to be a part of your epic journey. Please tag me in posts of you living your best lives. I'm so grateful to be here, and thank you so much, Sagicor, for having me.
the most beautiful child is a confident child.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chairman of the Production Club, Ms. Lori Robinson.
Hello. Good morning, my Sagicor family. How are we feeling today? Yeah, we're feeling next level? Yeah, let me hear you say next level. Next level? Ah, we got it, we got it. All right, so first and foremost, I want to thank everyone today who donated so generously to our charity. Please give yourselves a round of applause, please. A lot of you don't really know what this year's charity was about, so I'm going to just give you a brief overview. This year, the SMS charity is now the Sagicor soul, right? We're trying to tap into the soul of this company, and we're giving back from our hearts in an era where everything is social media and we're getting so disconnected. It's time for us to tap into our hearts and our soul and give back generously. And so I'm going to go through the 10 charity recipients today that are here with us. These are 10 young men who don't have it as good as most of us in here. We have raised over $1.5 million towards these young men. A special thank you to our executives who donated after I troubled them, knocked down them door. You know, thank you very much for putting up with me. Thank you to all the companies that sponsored these young men as well. And guess what? They're going to have a private session with Mr. Steve Harvey today. So to protect these young men, I'm not going to call their full names. Some of them are wards of the state. We can't really get into much details. So just so that you know where your donations are going to. Markel, he's very quiet, friendly, helpful, and courteous. He was selected by the staff members of the home as Boy of the Month on several occasions. And by the way, they're all here today, so you can give them a clap. He's very athletic, enjoys playing football and track and field, knows no known blood relative, and has lived in child care facilities all of his life, and he's 15 years old. Currently a fourth form student, he's performing well at his grade level, and he has been recognized as having so much potential and being a future leader. Then we have Javon, and today is Javon's birthday. Happy birthday, Javon. Javon is 17 years old, and he's originally from Portland. He attended the Port Antonio, not going any further. He was awarded a certificate for his performance in English language. Current fifth form student, he has been through extreme adverse situations, including loss of both of his parents. He enjoys outdoor sporting activities, likes writing his own songs and singing music and DJing with his friends. You have to give me a little sample here. And his ambition is to become a professional athlete or chef. Then we have Ricardo, who is 16 years old. Positive attitude, both academically and socially. shows great respect for authority, well-mannered, loves playing football, and his ambition is to become a police officer. He says that he wants to serve and protect the most vulnerable people in the community. Then we have Tevin. He's a 21-year-old. He lives in Lori. He lives in a very, very volatile community in Montego Bay. He wants to be a chef. He is a father of a daughter, and his relatives help him to take care of her financially. He's unemployed, and so he really, really needs the help. Peter Sinclair. Peter. He was expelled from his school, but readmitted because of his football skills. We have a baller in here. Yeah? He is at risk because of how poor he is, but a number of persons have surrounded him, hoping to help him remain focused. And he's a sixth form student with immense potential. Then we have Kevin. Kevin is an 18-year-old. He struggles to remain in school, but we worry that he may follow in one of his family members' footsteps. Not a very good path to take. He faces being put out of school because he's unable to pay the fees. He has been helped over the last 2 years by the Mobay City Run, but the charity has not been able to pay full tuition. He is extremely ambitious, does not want to follow in his family members' footsteps. And there are days when he goes to school very hungry. Then we have Damari. I can call Damari's full name. Damari Chambers. I actually met him at a restaurant and he just showed so much potential. He attended a Christiana High, but Damari's education was cut short when he ended up in an altercation at school with 5 boys in order to defend his little brother. Consequently, Damari was expelled. At the age of 16, he moved to Spanish Town, where he lived on his own and was forced to do odd jobs, like assisting to sell clothes, shoes, and fruits to survive. He eventually moved his mother and his 3 siblings to Standpipe, Kingston, and is now the breadwinner in the family. Damari is currently a waiter who dreams to become a soldier. In fact, he describes himself as follows: I have a great mindset. I am good at helping people, and being a soldier is the best place to put my energy. Then we have texting. Soon finished, don't worry. We have texting. He lives in a volatile community where he can be killed by either police or gunmen anytime because of the constant flare-up and gang warfare. He says he wants to be a chef and he would like to be trained. And of course, he would like to stay away from that community. We have Ronaldo. He works on construction sites, never got a chance to complete secondary school because his family was just too poor to send him, and he really wants to get an education. And lastly, is this last? No, not last yet. We have Daniel. He's homeless currently. He has been sleeping at the Boys and Girls Club for the past 2 years due to unresolved issues with his father and stepmother. And lastly, we have Brian Campbell. He's 18, from a single-parent family. Up to 2 years ago, he was unable to stand in front of an audience because he had no confidence. He's going blind and doesn't even have money to purchase a pair of glasses. He's a bright young man with great potential, was recently accepted by the CMU, the Caribbean Maritime University, and has received a quarter scholarship, but can't see while he is in his classes. And he definitely cannot pay his school fees. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give yourselves a round of applause again for helping out these young men who will each receive $150,000 today and other gifts from the Sagicor Soul charity. And at this time, I would like to invite Regina Bedeoya, our MDRT president, who has a special gift.
Lori, on behalf of the MDRT Foundation, I'd like to present a grant in support of the Sagicor Soul Initiative.
Thank you.
The MDRT Foundation is the charitable arm of MDRT, and this year it's celebrating its 60th anniversary. 60 years of donating funds to charities all over the world, charities that are favored by our own members, including in beautiful Jamaica, where just this year we've donated almost $20,000. We are delighted to support this wonderful initiative and all the wonderful work you all do as members of this beautiful Sagicor family. God bless all, and thank you.
So much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Regina. And now at this time, I would like to introduce our new chairman, Mr. Peter Malero. You ready for the questioning?
Boy, do I have a choice?
Nope. All right, so most of us here, we don't know who you are, or we think we don't know who you are, Mr. Malero, but we're going to find out today. So without further ado, how do you feel about being here at SMS?
Well, this is my first SMS, and quite frankly, I'm blown away. I had no idea it was anything like this. I'd kind of heard the legend of SMS, but just the energy in the room, the people, the speakers we've had, the whole vibe is just incredible. So I'm coming, if God spare, I'm coming back next time for sure.
Lovely. So other than being our chairman, tell us about where you are now professionally.
Okay, so my day job is I'm the CEO of ICD Group, which is an investment holding company, and we're invested in real estate and construction, insurance, BPO, property management, e-commerce, and a few other things. So yeah, technology distribution. So it's a kind of a diverse holding company, and I have the honor of being the CEO of that company.
Okay, and you're on a number of boards as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm on a few boards.
Okay, yeah. So you're well busy.
Yeah, I'm reasonably busy, yes.
Yeah,
Remember that, Chris, I'm reasonably busy.
All right, so from chairman to chairman.
Yes, chairman. Yes, Madam Chairman.
Yes, talk up. All right, when you take off your chairman's hat, what do you like to do? How do you unwind?
Oh, well, I love music, so I'm a big music man. I love to listen to music. I love to read. I'm a big Russian literature fan. I love to, go be with friends. The usual things, guys. Be with friends, hang out. Pretty simple, pretty basic, and I love to travel too. So those are kind of my key things. Family, travel, vibes.
Who that, assassin? Is you that running? You're not seeing what's up there.
Oh, thank God I cannot see what's behind me.
All right, so how long have you been associated with the Sagicor family? Because a lot of us don't know that you've been with the Sagicor family before it was actually Sagicor in some instances.
Right, so first of all, before I even say how long I'm involved with Sagicor, I have to say what an incredible privilege it has been, and it continues to be involved with Sagicor. I love the company, I love the people in the company, so I just wanted to put that out there. It's an incredible privilege. I've been involved actually for 15 years. It's quite amazing that 15 years have flown by like this, and I actually got involved because a bank that I led merged with what was then Pan Caribbean, and later on we negotiated and Sagicor purchased our interest. So from then I was asked to sit on the bank board, and I've sat on several of the other companies' boards since then. So that's been my involvement.
See, Sagicor family. He belongs to us. All right, so you are filling the shoes of
Oh, sorry, and I have to say though, when people ask me what I do, I say I'm CEO of ICD. They go, oh. And then I go, and then somebody says, no, he's chairman of ICD. And chairman of Sagicor. And say, whoa, chairman of Sagicor, right? What a thing. So, definitely I have to start leading with that, you know.
That's right, that's right. Sagicor strong.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so you are filling the shoes of our former chairman, Mr. Richard Biles. Are you nervous?
Yeah, it's a very daunting prospect. I've worked a lot with Richard, obviously, over the years. Incredible respect for him. He's a, well, you guys know he's an amazing, amazing guy. I think Jamaica is incredibly fortunate to have Richard as a central bank governor. I think doing that public services. But Rich is kind of a different character, and these guys who worked with him every day, Richard is very kind of matter of fact. So one day he just called me out of the blue. I was just finishing my gym. It was early in the morning. Richard is an early man, and he said, "Oh, Peter, I only have 2 minutes, but can you just cheer Red Stripe and Sagicor for me? I have to go by." So I was kind of like, my God, it's Rich, what life-changing event has happened or whatever. And I subsequently found out, but that was typical Richard, no kind of fanfare, no nothing, just, can you do this? All right, cool, let's go. So, yeah.
And what has the transition been like for you?
Well, I'm on a big learning curve, a huge learning curve. I've always been involved in the banking and investment side of the business, but very little in the life and EB side. So, big learning curve thanks to the team. They've really been generous with their time to, bring me up slowly up the curve. So yeah, a lot of it now is just learning, observing, getting the pace and rhythm of the organization, so yeah.
All right, so like how you're learning and observing, what would you say is your vision for the Sagicor group?
So, I really like the one Sagicor, and, not so much, thinking of that inside out, but really thinking at it from the customer outside in. One organization that when people are thinking of their financial health or their wellness, their physical wellness, they think first Sagicor. And we're there to provide quality, convenience, care, So if we can pull that off and really be that one Sagicor, then I think that's an amazing place to go to.
All right, so based on the vision, your observation, what are the pressing things you think that we need to address as a group currently?
Well, let me just put it in a little context before I answer that question. So I can't charge in here and think I'm coming in here to fix anything. We made, we just eclipsed $2 billion US dollars of value, right, Mr. Donaldson, on the stock exchange as our market cap, right? So that's kind of an amazing statistic just in of itself, right? So there's obviously a lot of really great things happening. So I start with that context that, we have a fully engaged team, they're masters in what they do. But I think if there's one thing I'd like to consistently bring, and I've said this to the team, is that I want us to really adopt a challenger mentality. It's very easy when you're a big dominant player. There's a lot of muscle memory in what you do. When the environment changes, sometimes you don't have that nimbleness and that agility to change with it. And I think there's going to be a lot of changes in the environment, perhaps in the next 5 to 10 years. So I think for us to have that entrepreneurial, kind of hungry, impatient to change kind of, attitude. And we have that in large doses, but we just have to keep it, front and center.
Nice. So tell us about your family. Let's get into your personal life now.
Okay. That was all the easy stuff.
Yes, that was the easy stuff. I'm ready for you.
So I'm married 27 years to Nicola. My absolute best friend in life. My best business advisor for sure. I run everything by her before I make any business decisions. Smart man, right? And anytime she's told me, boy, Peter, I don't think you should do that, and I've done it, it's turned out to be a disaster. So I've had constant validation of how I should take that advice. And 2 children, Joan and Miranda, 24 and 23.
Okay, nice. So tell us something that we don't know about you that would be a pleasant surprise.
A pleasant surprise?
Yes.
Oh. Well, I don't know how pleasant this is, but I always dreamed of being a teacher. I don't know if my bank manager would have found it as pleasant, But yeah, I was really in love with teaching. And when I was in grad school, I was very involved as a teaching assistant. And it's something that, I just love that connection of exchanging ideas and, being with people in that kind of setting of, just thinking and visualizing solutions and stuff. So yeah, I narrowly missed out. I don't think I had the talent, but that was really my primary, probably the primary thing I would have done if I didn't become a businessman.
All right. So style over fashion time now.
Yeah, it did.
Everybody don't know style of fashion and style. So what's
you're the very epitome of fashion and style, can I say?
Thank you. What's your favorite go-to thing to wear?
To wear?
Yes. What's your most fashionable item?
Well, I have to say that, first of all, the folks here know that being in a suit is not something that I, regularly do. So Alicia, gave me full instructions. You've got to wear a suit. And I was quite prepared. I brought on my suit, and then I was sitting in just by Chris there, and I put up my leg like this, and I noticed I had a big run in my sock. So clearly my sartorial efforts were a bit shaky today. But I'm a jeans man, a jeans and t-shirt kind of guy, yeah. And sneakers, yeah. That's my thing.
Okay.
So, yes. In fact, my wife often says we look like we're going out to two different places when we're going out at night. She's all dressed up, and I'm very basic. Yeah.
All right. What is your biggest pet peeve?
Biggest pet peeve? I think it's filling out that immigration form. I happen to travel a lot, and I fill out that immigration form that, I have to put my name, my address, my this, my that, and I'm coming home to Jamaica, so I just find that if I do it 30 times for the year, it's a little bit thing. But as Rochelle said, if that's something that is my biggest pet peeve, then I have to be really grateful for my life. So I have to say that.
Absolutely. All right, so I did a little bit of research on you. And a little birdie told me that you are a very roots person.
Oh, okay.
What's your favorite place to have a good time?
Actually, my house, I think. Friends up. Having friends come up, my house is kind of a bit of slightly party central. A lot of folks come up and we have long evenings and chat and listen to music and dance, and usually kind of descends into some form of excitement or ascends into some form of excitement. So yes, really a homebody, but I also love going to concerts and listening to reggae music primarily and stuff. So yeah, that's my kind of thing.
But I hear that you like hanging out in a few places in St. Thomas. You're not telling us about that?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. I've been the guest of a very nice gentleman who lives in that area, and he has a magical river spot that we as a family like to go to. And,
yeah?
Did you say Sasko was in the crowd? Did
Sasko.
Somebody say they saw it? I don't know. Somebody
here?
said they saw Jeffrey running. I don't know. I thought he may be, but yeah, he and I often frequent that spot. So.
Okay, lovely. So what, you said you enjoy? That's the spot in St. Thomas.
I want you to know that I did not post that. I think Puppy's PR machine went a little awry, and somehow that got posted on Insta. So yeah, so good research there, Laurie.
You're welcome.
But the unruly boss is quite ruly, actually, and quite gross.
So you say you like listening to reggae music. What's your favorite reggae/dancehall music to listen to? Who's your favorite artist or artiste?
Well, I think, I have so many, but, the kind of current genre, I have to say Popcorn is that Forever album.
Yeah.
And of course, The Hope River by Agent Sasko is really, really solid album.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then I rate Ding Dong as a hit maker.
Yeah.
Fleary and, man, proper.
So you know that I'm a dancer, right?
Well, I suspected looking at your costume that maybe you could do a thing.
Oh my God!
I think you should invite up the CEO to come and do a little thing with you.
Mr. Zaka, could you join us on stage, please? No. All right. Well, I want to dance, so come, put on your dancing shoes.
But tell me something, when you get that new class, they daddy, which color that, daddy no party, you alone have the style, they daddy, the king, the English. You alone have the style, the daddy. The queen for England have no backyardy.
Real bad man a bagel in a shorts. Straight jeans, cut off foot pants. Everybody have the arms when me get my clocks. Everybody have the arms when me get my clocks. The damn hard, this looks soft. Toothbrush get out the dust far.
But tell me something. When you get the new clocks, the daddy. Which color that? Daddy no party. You alone have the style, the daddy. The queen for England have love half yardy. When you get the new clocks, the daddy. Which color that? Daddy no party. You alone have the style, the daddy. The queen for England have love half yardy.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Willard Brown, Executive Vice President, Employee Benefits and Actuary.
Send Willard on the phone. Give him a music.
The light bright. Here's the thing. I had a speech that I was supposed to make, but Mark had the paper, and after he made the speech, I said, "Them tear it up and them throw it away." So right now, I just have to talk from the heart. And I'm a little hoarse from last night, because the party did really go on good, tell you the truth. But from Employee Benefits Division, I want to say one thing. I want to say thank you. I want to thank the Sagicor family. I want to thank everybody who took the time to refer business to us. I want to thank everybody who used their efforts and their relationships to put business to us. We are grateful. Gratitude is a must. And I do not take it for granted. And I commit to you that as long as you keep the referrals coming, I will keep your customers happy. Because they're all our customers. And this is one Sagicor. You see, the day we get that formula right, we become a different machine, next level. So, this is an I refer thing, so you're home now. The third I refer winner is Mr. Jason Bailey from Enterprise Risk Management, Sagicor Group. Where Jason?
Shannie McGraham-Shirley is a special educator who graduated with honors from the Michael Teachers College. Before entering fitness, she molded young minds in the classroom for 8 years. She is also a former Miss Jamaica Universe 1998 and model. The super dynamic Shannie entered fitness in 2010 and became the co-owner of Chai Studios Limited in 2012. After successfully running Chai for 6.5 years, she then built Yasa Fitness in 2018, her present fitness home. Yasa Fitness, aka Fitbox, is a boutique fitness studio offering a wide variety of fitness classes. Here, Shannie puts the fun in fitness. She's a group fitness instructor, personal trainer, self-proclaimed lifestyle coach, motivational speaker, and Surge brand ambassador. Shannie manages to balance all these activities with wifehood. She has been happily married for 16 years and motherhood. She is the proud and dedicated mother of 3 children. Shannie, in other words, is juggling mom personified and a woman walking in purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a next level welcome to Shannie McGraham-Shirley.
Them no ready for you, them no ready for you, them no ready, them no ready for you, them no ready for you, them no ready, them no ready for you, them no ready for you, them no ready. You're here when you're close and your money and your petty.
Next level, turn up the bass, yo, turn up the treble. Yo, turn up the treble. Next level, turn up the bass, yo, turn up the treble. Yo, turn up the treble.
Thank you, Sagicor. I have to say, I am so blessed. That's all I kept thinking about as I prepared for coming here to you. I am so blessed. Can you guys say I am blessed? Because guess what? We all woke up this morning. We have air in our lungs. I was asked to come here and share my story with you. We all have a story. My story, not any more important or more interesting than yours. But the difference with me and many others, I like to share my story because I feel that other people can benefit from some of the simple things we've been through in life. What runs through your veins? That is what has gotten me through my entire life. The different components and aspects of who I am, and as they chart through my veins and power me from experience to experience. Many people didn't know I was a Mr. Maker a long time ago. I entered at 18. Never know my head from my tail. Didn't know if I was coming or going. I actually entered in between high school and just not knowing what next I wanted to do. I had no clue. I wasn't even the one who handed in the application to go to the pageant entry. A friend of mine said, "Shannie, go on. I think you could do it." Girl, I think you could have win. All right. I entered. Then I was bombarded by all the comments of, "She could have never win. She's too short." I'm all of 5'2". Felt big in spirit, but guess what? I didn't really measure up on that stage. But I had nothing else doing and I needed to bide my time. So I relaxed into the competition and I was able to have fun because I really didn't have much expectation on myself. I was already limited. Everybody told me I could not win because I did too short. All right, bam, step out. I was Mr. Maker. So right there I realized, okay, hold on, them decided too short, but maybe there's something to it. Ironically, I didn't enter thinking I was Mr. Maker material. People saw me and didn't realize I wasn't the most confident person. I didn't have the best self-image, but I ran with it. Mr. Maker, doors opened up for me. People saw me here. Thought, yes, you're the next Miss Hattie Hattie. I actually went into a little stint of modeling, and not once did I have to give out a resume, a headshot. Jobs presented themselves to me. Kind of fell in my lap. I wasn't going to waste opportunity, I run with it. I worked with people like LL Cool J, Mary J, R. Kelly, Mariah Carey, 112. I had all these amazing opportunities, and I still didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. I did a little bit and cute, waist small and trim, 23 inches. Right now, not even my thigh is 23 inches. But the jobs came, and I ran with it. I remember in particular, I was on the set of a Eric Benet video. Here comes Eric Benet walking into the wardrobe trailer. The person was dressing me, and I'm like, no, I can't wear that. No, sir, my leg, them can't go in that. My thighs are too big, Lord. No, I can't put that on. And he goes, my God, You remind me of Holly. Backside. Eric Benet just compared little old me to Holly. But then he said, you're just as insecure as she is. Hold on. I just compared to the most beautiful woman in the world, had nothing to do with her beauty. He picked up a trait in me that he said I was as insecure as she was. He had the most beautiful woman in the world, but there was insecurity. I ran this for 2 years, a little modeling here and there. It wasn't my thing. I didn't have any fulfillment from it, so I wrapped it up pretty quickly. All I ever wanted in my life was to be a wife and a mother. When people say, so what do you want to be when you grow up, Shannie? I want to be a mommy. This is what I wanted. I met my husband at age 20. It was awesome. We had an amazing dating experience. I felt that I have finally reached exactly where I wanted to be. My whole life, I never wanted to be no doctor, lawyer. I wanted to be married and to be a mommy. And I finally got it. We all have a breaking point. Everybody's breaking point is different. But it's that come to Jesus moment that strips you down to nothing. My breaking point started when I finally got what I always wanted. I married the man of my dreams, who has been my rock and my saving grace to this day. But from I got married, I started slipping away from myself. I started losing who I was. When we got married, we had an argument about why I didn't take his last name. All I ever wanted to be was a wife. So I didn't most plan to take the man's last name. But when it came to, I couldn't give up McGraham. That's my identity. That's who I am. So I said, my name is Shannie McGraham-Shirley. What? Why won't you take my last name? So it started there. As I said, my dating with him was amazing. We had sex morning, noon, and night. It did hot and fiery. I did cook for him, bring him food pan tray. He even reminded me, Shannie, remember you used to give me like a pedicure here and there? I did all these things, and then when I got married, from the night I get married, I went, oh, he expects enough sex, but him not get it now. Oh, he expects me to keep cooking for him all the time. Well, me not cook now. I started putting so many expectations on myself. He never once put any expectations on me. But I started losing my identity, who I was. Then this happened. I don't want to share these pictures with everybody. Life happened, not quite as I expected it. That is me. Many people didn't realize that I lost 200 pounds with every one of my pregnancies. All I ever wanted was to be a mother. You didn't think the baggage that may come with. I knew myself at a certain size and a certain shape and a certain fitness level. And then the rug was pulled from beneath my feet. We all have that breaking moment, that time where you go, I can't go any further like this. I am beyond unhappy. My moment was, I was so stripped and vulnerable. I was actually in the shower with my husband, him there behind me. Him never know what clock I strike. I looked down and saw everything hanging on me. The body I thought I had and once knew was not there anymore. When I looked down, in that moment, I broke. I said, this could not be me. This is, what is going on? I wept that night in the shower. Him have no clue. Him a bubble same way. But that was my coming to moment. We have to take things, make jokes sometimes. But as I said, That was when I said, I have to take a chance. I have to make a change, and I have to find back me. Losing weight is hard. Being unhappy is hard. Pick your hard. Choose your hard. If you're unhappy in a particular position in your job, step up. Put yourself out there and take a chance to take it to the next level. If you're unhappy in a relationship, step. You don't have to stay in something that you feel is not for you. If you're unhappy in your body for whatever reason, change it. Make the effort. Put the work in. I had to be selfish in order to be selfless. Now people go, what do you mean by that, Shannie? What do you mean you must be selfish? We don't want nobody selfish. You have to keep something back. You have to take care of you in order to be able to give anybody anything else. When my husband heard this statement, he's like, I'm not getting it, Shannie. What do you mean by you have to be selfish? You know, when you're on the plane, I always say them advertise when the masks drop down, and they say, put the mask on your own face first before assisting the others. And I used to say that and go, it's a damn selfish woman who will put the mask on for her face first before masking her children. That's oxygen. What are you talking about? If I did on that plane from oxygen deprivation, I can't save my children. If I don't save something back in me, how can I help anybody else? So I had to get very selfish to be able to be selfless. You have to take the time to find you. Find what ignited your spirit in the first place. You have to fall in love with you again and again. Don't wait for somebody else to fall in love with you. You have to recharge, renew, replenish. It's like reusable energy. You have to renew before you can give off. I had to reclaim my life because unhappiness was taking over. I could not be the best mother, the best teacher. I was a teacher at the time. The best daughter, the best friend, if I felt inadequate. We all do SWOT analysis on our businesses. How many of us do SWOT analysis on self? Make the assessment and change. I decided, focus on me. You saw me at 200 pounds. I came right down. It took work. Am I perfect? Hell no. But it took work. And you can't be afraid of investing in you. A lot of people like to say, I'm going to create a New Year's resolution. I hate the thought of a New Year's resolution. I feel something so big and so daunting sets you up for failure. You wait the whole year. You know, say, you set a plan. It didn't quite come to fruition by January 12th. You're going to wait the whole next year before you reset a new plan? No. So I find when things are made so big, so great, so daunting, I'm going to lose all of 50 pounds. It's unattainable. I like to make weekly resolutions. So guess what? If I screw it up by Friday, Monday right around the corner. Start over. Nobody said you had to wait until the end of the year. So that concept of a New Year's resolution, to me, holds us back. You have to keep planning to be your greatest advocate. You have to push. By putting the work in, you can become fearless. Don't wait for the end of the year to do it. Put the work in now. You are your greatest investment, not an expense. So many of us quick to spend money, invest time in a business. If your roof a leak and them say, boy, it's going to take 200,000 to fix that, the leak. You quickly find the money. If you have to go bank and borrow it, you don't think about it. If your kids are having issues at school, you find the money and find the most expensive tutor there is. How many of us are willing to spend that money or that time on ourselves? You know you want to take it to the next level, and you feel, boy, I never really finished the MBA, you know. It's not the right time. I don't have the money aside to go do it. You are your biggest investment. Put the time, energy, and effort. That's the only way you can take your life to the next level. You have to be stronger. You have to be smarter. You have to be saner. Whatever it takes. Mind, body, and soul. We love to say, we have to find the balance in our life. Like say you can walk out the street and pick up like a balance off of the ground. What's the balance there? Let me find it. No, you have to create balance in your life. Our life is so multifaceted. Whether it is that you're busy working, you have family, you have children, lots of responsibilities. We all wear multiple hats. But you have to create a balance so that things can actually unfold and work in harmony. You can't fixate everything on one particular task. You have to focus on all aspects. You have to focus on your spirituality. Because without God at the center of your life, you will go nowhere. You have to focus on your health. Because guess what? As great as Sagicor insurance is, them can't help you when you pop down dead on the bed. You have to be able to create that balance in your life and train for it. If you don't balance and practice balancing, how can you master it? Put your best outfit on. The only outfit worth wearing is confidence. I don't care what kind of clothes you wear, what your jewelry is, the type of shoes. If you don't wear confidence and step out and say, see me, you don't have on nothing. Have you ever seen some of these women, 250, 300 pounds, them have on the little short shorts, them have on the crop top, them belly big so, and it's out a door. When them step, why? Them have confidence that come out of them ears. Somebody did tell them, girl, you look good, go on, girl. And she step, yeah. And when you see her, some of us go, boy, me look at me now, wear that, but she step with confidence. People see what you show them. Why not choose to show them confidence? Even when you're not feeling it at the time. Sometimes I'm getting dressed at home and I go, Lord, jeez, you. My belly look kind of big today. I'm beside them. Them I rub like scrub. No, sir, Lord, my face look haggard. Okay, Shannie, I forgot. Hey, call me. You didn't know what I went through in my head to get ready to step out on the road. You don't need to see that. I wanted you to see the confident person that I am. People see what they want to believe. When I'm teaching my classes, many people know I'm always half naked. It's just a mistake. I'm always in a sports bra and I'm in tights. And I literally drive around the place like that too. God help me if police stop me. But when ladies come to my class, they're like, Shannie, you have no clue what we go through. Your body is perfect. You don't have no stretch mark. You don't have no cellulite. And I go, I don't have what? And I say, look at me. Look at me good. And they scan me up and down and they go, my God, Shannie, I've been coming to you for years and I've never realized you're ripped up with stretch marks. Yeah. I never realized that your leg's dimply. You have cellulite? Yeah. But guess what? You see me in a sports bra and tights and think only a confident woman would dare step out in that. So she must be perfect. So what do you see? You see perfection. Is it really perfection? No. But you saw confidence. So guess what? Put on your best outfit and step. When life knocks you down, you know what a burpee is, right? You don't know what a burpee is? Me nah, I don't know burping at the high heel shoes here. You drop down, you jump up, you drop down again, and you jump up again. Why? Life never knocks you down once. It will knock you down repeatedly. When you get up repeatedly, what happens? You get stronger. A burpee is basically like a push-up and you jump up off of the ground. If I do 10 burpees, 15 burpees, 20 burpees, I'm more stronger. When life throws curveballs at you, and it always will, don't be afraid to keep jumping up. It knocked you down 100 times, you get up 101. Last year was a rough year for me, and believe me, I get boxed down straight in my face. And I got up. Over and over, when things came at me, I got up. I had to dig deep. When I was putting together this slideshow, and I say, I was the original cockroach. Mackerel should have really did come talk to me. You know when you have a cockroach and you try to kill it? And you lift up your foot and you go, rat it, but it run with it. Things try to stamp me out. Life tried to stamp me out. Greater forces tried to stamp me out. But I had to dig deep and say, I'm the original cockroach. I'm not dead so easy. You have to have a fight in you. Perseverance. You have to be able to move, to fight. Life will always come at you rough. If life was easy, you would have absolutely no character. You would have no substance. You would be blank, plain. I'm not a vanilla yogurt. You need to have things that build your character and test you to take you to the next level. Embrace it. Charge through your life like a beast. Don't worry that they're breaking moments. Those breaking moments will take you to the next level, will make you stronger, fitter, and faster in mind, in body, and in your soul. It is through these moments that you're able to find your purpose and you're able to find your voice. Be bold. Be fearless. What? Be a badass. That is how I feel living life makes sense. Everything comes at you, sometimes all at the same time, sometimes sporadically throughout your life. I'm not going to stand here and tell you it's get easier. It actually doesn't. It changes. But you get stronger. Practice makes perfect. If you drop enough times, believe me, your comeback is only bigger and better. We're always so concerned with what people have to say about us. We worry what is being whispered behind our ears. What people have to say about you? What people have to say about you? None of your damn business. You know your purpose in life, walk with it. If God gives you purpose, you step. Confidently, boldly, and unapologetically. Don't worry about what others have to say. I remember when I was in school, prep school straight through to high school, my teachers made the same comment about me over and over and over. If it was one thing I was in school, I was consistent. Straight from prep school, Shan is a diligent worker. She works well with others. She gets along well with her peers. But she talks too much. Shani is a pleasant child, and I'm happy she's in my class. But she talks too much. If Shani would control how much she speaks in class, she would have a better chance. I mean, I could pull up every report card. Every report card. I wonder what my teachers would say now. I took something in me that was so innate. It ran through my blood. It ran in my fibers. One thing I'm good at, I can't chat. You can only be great at something that comes naturally to you. You need to tap in, and you won't figure it out right away, you know. Who knew? If you told me this 5 years ago, that I would be gracing the stages all over, speaking, sharing my truths, my journeys, I would have said, I lie, I tell. But speaking comes naturally to me. I love doing it. I love talk. When you tap into yourself and you do that SWOT analysis and you realize what your strengths are and you feed into it, you can be unstoppable. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Think about that. Say it again with me. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I hate this quote with a passion. I hate this quote. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. All that does is keep a lid on you. It makes you complacent. It makes you stagnant. If something is working, and you're like, but it's running like clockwork, I don't really have to inject no effort, no energy into it, it's fine. Fine doesn't get you places in life. Mediocrity doesn't get you places in life. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, keeps you stunted. You're not able to expand. You can't grow. You can't thrive. It inhibits creativity and you meeting your full potential. Be a dreamer, because dreams are reality in the making, and that's what I had to do for myself. I was in a space last year that stunted me. I needed to be able to grow and take it to the next level. I needed somewhere to call home. I eventually created a space that I could teach my own classes under my terms. When I saw this picture, it spoke volumes to me. Anybody who watches me on Instagram, they know I love to do a handstand. I do a handstand all over the place. Every country I go, I pop a handstand. Nobody really knows that I don't know how to hold a handstand, and I don't know how to come out of a handstand. But it never mattered. I went to Spry, and I saw this tire, and I said, I want a handstand on that tire there. That would make a wicked shot. Shannie, that tire is 5 feet. You're 5'2". How you gonna make that work? I know what I want. I want a picture of a handstand on that tire. Cool. Climb up on the tire. Ready, Shannie. Boop! Up in the air. Head down, legs up. I got that shot. Dwayne captured the most beautiful handstand I think I've done. You think it's a cool picture? Yes. Nobody had to know that when I came out to that handstand, I had to kick over Jay and Ambrose clean on the ground. Ambrose had to catch me as I fell, but guess what? I got the shot. I had a dream, I had a vision. I never worried about how I was going to get there. I got it. When one door closes, build another friggin' door. Simply put. I can't put it no other way. I needed a door to open for me last year, and there was none. One slam, brap, closed in my face. What did I do? I built my studio. I had to think outside of the box to be able to create my fit box. I actually used boxes and containers to create an amazing, funky space. One morning at boot camp, I was 5 o'clock in the morning, and I watched this sunrise come up over the containers I was cutting out. And right there in the still of the morning, I actually heard God himself say to me, Shannie, everything is going to be okay. In the midst of all the turmoil I was going through, I actually heard it. I'm not the most spiritual person, but I have faith and I believe in my God. I don't hold up the four corners of church, but I know he's there for me and he has my back. And he has given me a purpose and said, walk with it. Sometimes all we have to do in life is just shut up and listen. God has been telling me for a long time what I needed to do, but he was doing it subtly. Him to forget that my head is tough. So sometimes he throws something at you that is so profound, so loud, you can't help but to listen to it. I created my space, Fitbox, that I could walk in my purpose and share with people who wanted to come and just have a good time and be reacquainted with themselves. People who I can carry them on my journey and help them walk their journey. Allow people to find that fitness level, become healthier, not just physically, but mentally. All you have to do sometimes in life is dream it, want it, and believe it. We need to believe that we deserve good. We look at everybody else and go, Lord Jesus, go for your life nice. You deserve a good life. But you have to believe that. My space that I created was bigger and better and more positive than the space I had before. I had outgrown the previous space. And it came from a thought. It came from a need. It came from having my passion and wanting to walk with it. We're only confined by the walls we build. We limit ourselves. We tell ourselves we can't. I use this picture, unedited, raw, no photoshopping, because people told me I couldn't do it. They said, Shannie, you at 5'2", can't lift up a next woman over your head top who's taller than you. With all the ailments you have, I stand here with 3 herniated discs, arthritis, a torn rotator cuff, insertional athlete tendonitis in both feet, and I did what everybody told me I couldn't do. Why? No other reason than I just wanted to. And I wanted to prove people wrong. Don't tell me I can't. Do not limit yourself, and worse, do not let people limit you. I live for my family. I have 3 kids. My son was the one taking the picture. But I had to use this picture because just last week, one of my daughters said to me, boy, Mommy, there's this boy at school and I like him, but he doesn't like me. I'm like, really? She goes, yeah, another guy likes me, but I don't really like him, but I don't think I can necessarily get the boy I like. And right there, I realized her mind at such a young age is already telling her, you're not good enough, and settle. I had to say to her, put certain things out in the environment, in the universe, that will bring positivity and will it to you. Don't start by saying, there's a boy I like and he doesn't like me and I won't be able to get him. You think you can get anybody in life you want. Why? Because you deserve it. You deserve to be admired by somebody who is worthy of your time. We have to throw out there our worth and add tax. When you're walking your life, remember that people watch you. Your children see you. What is the example you're leading by? The universe doesn't give you what you ask for with your thoughts. It gives you what you demand with your actions. Make your actions bold. What runs through your veins? Greatness runs through your veins. Can you stand with me? Mr. DJ?
Greatness is running on me blood. Greatness is running on me blood. Greatness is running on me blood. Greatness is running on me blood.
You are Sagicor workers. You are in a company that believes in your what? In your greatness. Can we turn it up on Mr. DJ?
Greatness is running on me blood.
Greatness is running on me blood.
Greatness is running on me blood. Greatness is running on me blood.
Remember that. Greatness runs through your veins. Thank you.
Greatness is running on me blood. 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 Them wants to be down in the mud. Greatness is running on me blood. Blessings to shower like a flood. Greatness is running on me blood. It's an eagle a fly and a pigeon you see.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Chief Operating Officer, Sagicor Financial Corporation, Ravi Ramaran.
I swear we are the sound them select us play every day, making you sweat. And when the girl them tell and shadow dingole, I hear the soul crowd say, we are the sound of soca. Big bad soca. Big bad soca.
Good morning, Sagicor. I know that some of you already left. Clearly you have been privy to what I'm going to say. Now, normally when I'm invited to speak, I'm generally invited to speak about a topic relating either to economics, actuarial science, business. And today I'm going to depart for the first time in the 23 years I've been in Sagicor and speak about a totally different topic. That topic was not of my choosing. Ingrid Card, as you know, is a very difficult person. And I don't mean it in a nice way. To say no to. And then she teamed up with Alicia. Don't think I didn't know it was a tag team play. And said, Ravi, we don't want to hear any of those topics. We know you're quite competent. We want to hear your story. I said, what does it mean you want to hear my story? Right? You have lived in Jamaica. I've lived in Jamaica 23 years. And now you want to hear my story? Because a select few know my story. And that's because I have tried as much as possible to separate my story from Sagicor's story, because I'm an executive of Sagicor. I don't know if it will make you cry, if it will make you laugh, if it will make you sympathize, but I said, okay, I will take out some of the X-rated bits. And there are many parts, by the way, because I'm Indian. And share them with you. Okay? So here goes. And maybe those of you who don't know me, or those of you who think they know me, it will connect some of the dots as to why I behave the way I behave. Right, Chris? So here goes. I'm clearly Trinidadian by birth. Any Trinidadians in the house? So I spent the first 18 years of my life in Trinidad. I spent the next 14 years of my life in England. Any Brits in the house? No, they were too busy voting for Brexit. And then the remainder, 23 years of my life, in a land that embraced me, Jamaica. And at times you embraced me voluntarily, and at times you embraced me involuntarily. But here goes. My great-grandparents were indentured laborers. So, very easy story. Came from India, went to Trinidad, 5-year contract, and at the end of 5 years, they're supposed to return to India. That's a promise. It's an indentured contract. This was a 2-page contract in 3 languages, civil contract, English, Hindi, Urdu. All well and good. It was meant to be a system to replace slavery. There was only one catch with that contract. With few exceptions, the indentured laborers could neither read nor write. So they put their thumbprint on a contract. They could neither read nor write. In fact, I have a copy at home now. And let's just say that contract was more observed in the breach. So, all well and good. At the end of the 5 years, you're supposed to return to India. And the Brit said, but you know, shipping now has become very expensive. Here's what we'll do. Out of the generosity of our heart, we'll offer you land. In the history of my ancestors, they've never owned land before. They have been tenant farmers, rural peasants. All well and good. And this is how, by the way, our history until then has been a oral combination of oral history and written history. What they did do is that infertile mountainous land was given and swampy land was given. So my great-grandparents ended up with swampy land. Fortunately, they knew how to plant rice. They had the knowledge of planting wet rice, because you can plant rice dry and you can plant rice wet. How many of you knew that? All of you only know how to eat rice, right? And if you know anything about rice farming, it is back-breaking work. Back-breaking work, you are in the water. First, you have to bend your back. You have to plant the seeds. When you have to harvest, you have to bend, pull it back up. You're in water, right? You don't know what could be coming at you. You could have water moccasins. You could have any type of infections. In the evening time, mosquitoes galore. So the first family house was on stilts over a lagoon, because land, you want to maximize the yield of the land. And between 6 and 7 o'clock in the evening, you dare not be outside. As they say in Trinidad, the mosquitoes will tote you away. And so, your water, there's no running water. You catch water by barrel. Okay? There's no electricity. You use flambeau. What are flambeaus? Flambeaus where you put kerosene in rum bottles, beer bottles, and you put a wick at the top and you light it. Basically, it's a Molotov cocktail without its adverse use. Okay? That's how we start. No formal education, grandparents, great-grandparents, no formal education, grandparents, parents come along, and they're offered an education. Wow, but there's a catch. The Presbyterians out of Canada, in particular, the Catholics, the Anglicans, there's a catch. If you want to be educated in our schools, you have to be converted. That's the price of an education. You have to surrender your culture. You have to surrender your identity. So I give you an example. My mother at the age of 5 has an Indian name of Shanmati, turns up to the Canadian Mission, and here's a Canadian Mission Indian School. That's the name, Canadian Mission Indian School. What's your name? Shanmati so-and-so. Nope, your name from today is Dulcie in the school. Can you imagine if you turn up, Chris, you turn up, and he said, all right, you go to school. His name is Chris Zaka. He said, nope, from today your name is Ravi Zaka. No, that may actually help you. I don't want to use that. My father, given Indian name, Vishnu Nath, turns up, from today your name is Clifford. So, deculturalization is the price. So to go to school, primary school, they're not allowed to speak Indian languages in the rural area of the schools. And then, at the end of primary school, because secondary school at that point in time in the countryside was virtually non-existent. Because I grew up in an Indian village. If you think Westmoreland is rural, Westmoreland was like a town to where I grew up for the first 11 years of my life. Deep Westmoreland. Okay? So you don't have a lot of choices in terms of schools. You go to school at the end of 10, 11, both sides of grandparents said, nope, you're not going to school because if this continues, you're going to lose yourself. So my mother convinced my grandfather for her to become a teacher's aide. In those days, you could be a teacher's aide and then advance over time to becoming a teacher. So my grandfather said, why would I do that? Because if you become educated, more educated, how will I find a husband for you? You will be a difficult person to marry off, and how will then marry off your other brothers and sisters? Secondly, you will abandon your culture because the cohesiveness of Indian families is a cultural aspect, a deep cultural aspect, because we live as extended families. That's how we lived. In fact, how we live today is the antithesis of our whole lifestyle. So there was no sense of privacy when you live in an extended family. There was no sense of loneliness. You didn't pay someone to look after your children. You didn't have to worry about the elderly. There were always people around looking out for each other. Okay? And so, with that love of learning, then there was an arranged marriage with my father's side. And then 5 children over time were born. And I had the unfortunate or fortunate part of being the firstborn. Insight into Indian families at that time. If you're the firstborn, unto you falls the mantle of looking after your entire family. The leadership cedes to you. That's how it goes. So, I went to school too in that village school, same village school. And typically, let me describe the school, because when I use this word school, I know you guys think of a nice building. Thatched roof. You have slabs of wood around. But if the dust blew too hard, you're eating dust. If the rain fell too hard, you get wet. And most of the time, because of the lack of money, because money was a scarce resource, a lot of rote learning took place. So your memory, you had to develop a good memory. You had to remember. Okay? And there were no buses or children drop off or any of these things occurring. You walked. So you walk about 3 miles to school, one way. But you weren't by yourself. It's all the kids in the village, they're walking, and you're having fun. You're walking. And without exception, because in those days we didn't have hand creams and foot creams and all those things, you get up in the morning, you have to do chores. You go back in the evening, you have to do chores. What are the chores? You have to cut grass for the animals, cows and goats, and so you have to feed them. You have to do work. There's work delegated. So from a very young age, you learn that you have to do your part. It ain't free. There's no helper. Okay? And then now, we're all rubbed down in coconut oil. Because after you bathe with the rainwater, you see a whiteness come in the skin, a dryness. Well, we have coconut trees, we make coconut oil. What do? Put it in your hair, put it in your face, put it in your hands, put it all over, your boy shining. So from a young age, I was a shining sun. Okay? But you know what? We had fun, we enjoyed life. It was carefree. We only went indoors to sleep. Our life was outdoors. No refrigeration because there is no electricity. So, whatever you grew, that's what you ate. Plain and simple. The idea of milk in a carton or in a bottle, foreign. You want milk in the morning, you milk a cow, that's the milk. You're eating fresh vegetables, fruits. The only things you're really buying, flour and sugar, sometimes oil and salt. Everything else is what you are growing. Okay? So you grow up in that life. But, you know, in the same way, black women are extremely strong women, Indian women are very strong women too. It is a fallacy if you think that Indian families are run by men. Their wives make them think so. They're run by women. Our society, our Indian society, is matriarchal when it comes to the family. So, like my grandfather, he had 3 wives, 2 at any point in time, because monogamy is a relatively new concept in our, 3,000-4,000-year-old history. You have to bear with us. It is a new concept for us. And at that time, the law did not recognize Indian marriages. So therefore, it did not recognize the rules on inheritance. So what would happen is, if you married according to Hindu rites, and then later on you died, the state would take your property. Because as far as they're concerned, it wasn't recognized. And we were used to cremation, so we used to cremate in secret. Sometimes we would bury. So that's the kind of environment. But then now from the age of 11, and you walk, by the way, don't assume you walk into school every day with new clothes. Okay? I always thought that shoes came with newspaper at the front. I always thought so for a long time, that shoes came with newspaper at the front. Because I had to wear my other cousin's shoes, and if your foot too small, you put newspaper at the front. Oh, some of you now get it. Oh, I see the light bulb now go off. Okay? And you're wearing, it's all hand-me-downs. In other words, you only throw away something when you simply can't think of a use for it. That's the only point in time when you throw away something. Because money is scarce. At the age of 11, I was fortunate to, at that time, you would call it like a scholarship to a grammar school. One of the better grammar schools in Trinidad, called Fatima College. And so, my family moved from that village to another rural area so that I could go to school, to that high school. But that high school was in the capital. So it was still, at least in terms of traffic, you're talking about Jacinto, from the Chaguanas bus station to Fatima. How long would you say in those days? So that you'll see I'm not lying. Is he here? How long? All right, he can't answer then. So therefore, you're talking about at least an hour and a half. in terms of traffic. So I would get up in the morning at 4:30 and leave home at 5:30 to reach the school for 7:30. Okay? Getting up at 4:30 to reach the school for 7:30, leave home at 5:30. Now, when you go to the public bus station, it's already packed. But it taught me a valuable lesson. I learned how to sleep standing up. That's a good skill to learn. I learned how to sleep standing up. And if along the way, because it was only, you didn't have the highway, that Trinidad wasn't as wealthy then as it is today. If during rainy season there was flood, the bus would wait about half an hour for the water to subside. If the water didn't subside, it just turned back. No school for that day. Simple as that. So I hustled my way because the scholarship wasn't enough through high school. So what I would do, I used to sell roti and chicken and roti and chana, and I would supplement. I was hustling in there to supplement, money, because that was scarce. Now, why I'm sharing this with you? Because during that time of being educated, I remember when I wrote my O-levels. So I'm sitting with my family, and my father says, okay, what are you going to do at A-levels? Because you're going to be the first to be educated in our family, on both sides of the family. Everybody's going to follow you now. What are you going to do? So I said, well, I really love languages. I would like to study languages. So I'd like to do languages at A-levels and go to university. I said I'll work, because in those days you still have to work and save money to go to university. Part-time university wasn't available. That's what I do. My father looked at my mother and said, what an educated jackass. Talk some sense into that boy. He wants to go, right? Study languages, then go to university, and he doesn't know what he's going to be. Most likely end up being a teacher or a translator. How is that going to help the family? Talk some sense into him. My mother says to my father, says to me, turn around to me now, listen to your father. I said, so my father says, well, what's the next good thing you like or you're good at? I said, math. He said, all right, well, what you could do with math? I said, well, you have these various things you could do. And that's how I did math instead of languages. So I became an accidental actuary. I was fortunate at the end of my A-levels to receive a math scholarship. And in those days, if you're one of the top 4 scholars in the country, you could go anywhere in the world and study. So I chose to be an actuary because of the weight of responsibility. Went to England, and my father said to me, don't come back until you become an actuary. Simple as that. And what he was trying to say in his own way is be somebody before you come back. When I went to the airport, this is the first time I'm flying on a plane now. At the age of 18, first time I'm flying on a plane. The entire village came out to see me. Now when I go to Trinidad, I'm lucky more than one person turns up. But that's the love. That's the unity of people, of viewing people. And this is a village. Not all of them were my family. the love and the pride. And what it told me is that you cannot just live your life for yourself. You should not just live your life for yourself. I remember some gave me towels, some gave me shirts, some gave me socks. They all came together. So first time I'm sitting in a plane and I'm going with a grip. You guys know what a grip is? If heavy rain fall on that grip, it can't hold nothing. And I go with my grip to England. And that went there. And what I applied myself because I wanted to be someone. So, yes, studied to be an actuary, trained to be an actuary, but my love for what I call the arts, I immersed myself in philosophy, I immersed myself into history, Caribbean history, Indian history. So that's why when I speak to you guys, I always speak from a perspective, not just historical perspective, but looking at the connectivity of things. I'll give you a factoid. I taught a course, Peter, you said you give a fact that many people may not know. I'll tell you something. I taught a course in Indian philosophy for 5 years at Shortwood Teachers Training College. I hear somebody say, Yeah? In the evening time, you had to, and you could not graduate without taking my course. You could not graduate without taking my course. It was simple as that. Right? But how did I end up in Jamaica then? So I'm working, I'm training. I made London my home because that was the best way to help my family. And I got a call from a headhunter, recruitment, saying that the Jamaican financial sector had crashed. They were looking for actuaries. The largest company at the time, or second largest, Life of Jamaica, because the mutual was still going on, looking for an actuary. Would you have an interest? And I was very skeptical. And the reason I was skeptical is I had been given offers before from Trinidad. And the offers in Trinidad, I had always went one way. I would be given an offer and I would reject it. Why would I reject it? Because when it came to compensation, the view would be, well, you're one of us, you're local, we have to pay the foreigner more than you. And of course, being younger then and feistier then, I would say a few choice bad words. I swear in many languages. Okay? So I just tell them a few bad words in different languages. As far as I'm concerned, our people here, our intellect is not lesser than anyone else's intellect. So I flew down to Jamaica. Remember, I've never been to Jamaica before. 1990, September 1996. Never been to Jamaica in my life. Don't know one person. Came to Jamaica. Life in Jamaica. I'm interviewed. I returned. I made an offer the following week. And so, what piqued me about Jamaica, apart from being, compensation wasn't an issue in terms of treating whether you were local or foreign, it didn't matter. And I view that as a sign of, equal opportunity and progressivity, was that when I went to the library of my employer then, doing a search on countries that had failed financial systems. There had been failed banking systems. But Jamaica was one of the few where you had a failed financial sector, bank and insurance. and it was critical to the rebuilding. So I came here also out of intellectual curiosity, because at heart, I am a nerd. I love learning. I read one book a week. Even now, I read one book a week on very diverse topics. And I came here and I was embraced. That's why I made Jamaica my home. But I recognize the disparity in living standards of people. And so when I came here, within a month, there is a part of Jamaica, not a nice area, totally in a city. A group of us, we started doing work there. And our mission was very simple, to save one life a year. And we have done that over the past 23 years. So when you may ask, well, Ravi, you are educated, you clearly you have risen, in your field, but what motivates you? First of all, I don't drink coffee. I don't have to get up. I get up in the morning, I jump out of bed. I go to bed, within 5 minutes, I'm asleep. I go into a yogic posture, I'm asleep. In fact, if I drink anything with sugar, it wires me up even more. Okay, I've been fortunate to be blessed by God with a tremendous amount of energy. And so, for me, my simple desire is to live a life of relevance. And to live a life of relevance simply means it can't be for you. It has to improve the life of others. And part of the reason why I've remained with Sagicor, a key part, is our vision statement. What is our vision statement? To improve the lives of the communities in which we operate. That is the intersection of my story, my purpose, and Sagicor. That is the intersection. And what I'll say to you, and I will tell you this, one of the lessons I've learned, and we can learn from many cultures. In fact, there's a 5,000-year-old saying in Sanskrit, one of the oldest languages in the world, Vasudeva Kutumbakam. It means the world is one family. We just look for differences in each other. We don't look for the similarities. And the Muslim civilization, if you look back to the Persians at that time, they have this wonderful principle, which I will share with you, which I personally follow. And it's a principle of zakat, even though I'm not a Muslim. And zakat is where you allocate a percentage of your income to charity, to those that are less fortunate than you are. And you live off the rest. In other words, many of us, we first live off what we have and then think about sharing what remains. The principle of zakat is the opposite. You first carve out, if you earn $100, you carve out $10 or $15. That is for living that life of relevance, and you live off the rest. That, to me, and that's how we can learn from different cultures. And that is one of the values of Sagicor. Colorless and borderless. By embracing people of different faiths, different races, different ethnicities, different geographies, if we embrace them, we are colorless and borderless because we operate in 21 countries. But we can only become a timeless company, which is our other value, by truly living that vision of improving their lives. And there is no better industry than the insurance industry and the pensions industry to improve the lives of people. We are not just making money. We are not just making money. I'll tell you this. No country can grow. If you think about growth sustainably, meaning year on year, but year on year, for you to grow, means there'll be bumps in the road. Whether it be hurricanes, whether it be floods, whether it be sickness, whether it be premature death, whether it be retirement, and it is only the insurance and pensions industry can smooth those bumps in the road to have sustainable growth. We are actually a force for social good, but we don't understand it. We are too focused on what we do on a daily basis to understand at a macro basis, we are the most important segment of the financial sector. Not the banking sector. Not the banking sector. It is the insurance and pension sector. You cannot smooth the bumps to have sustainable growth. And that is, in a way, collectively. I'm going beyond me now, how collectively as a group, when we say one Sagicor, it's not just two words. One Sagicor simply means playing our role in creating sustainable economic growth by removing the speed bumps. I said in Trinidad about 2 weeks ago, the insurance and pensions industry and Sagicor, we are the financial shock absorbers of our societies. That's who we are. We are the financial shock absorbers of our society because the roads will be bumpy. And that is why I'm here, because I do believe that there is an intersection of my personal interests and Sagicor's interests. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a synopsis minus the X-rated bits of my journey. I thank you very much. Namaste.
I swear we are the sound them select us play every day, making you sweat. And when the girl them tell and shadow dingole, I hear the soul crowd say, we are the sound of soca.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now break for 10 minutes. Please exit to the back of the auditorium and visit the booths. Craig Pangsang, GBG Treasures, Me Line Fashions, Unwind Distributors, GW Art. Also, please visit the Sigma Run booth and get 10% off your purchase if you have your registration bag with you. You will have 3 months to pay by salary deduction.